want you guys to lock up. Collar tie is going to be a universal grip because we don't have lapels, cross side, same side. This is going to be our universal grip. What's going to vary is if you could get wrist control here. So if somehow when I engage, I got wrist control here, this would be a good grip for this takedown. But the reality is, most of the time you're going to be tied up. I would like you all to try to work off the inside tie, like you try to work off this position. And again, anytime I can use my head to make him look away from me, angling off like this, that's going to be better for me. Okay. So I'm going to go for the ankle pick on the same side that I'm controlling the arm. Again, whether that's at the wrist or at the inside tie position, this is the side I'm going to go for, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to walk your partner into the takedown. Just focus on the footwork for a second. I'm going to pull on the arm. I'm going to take a shuffle step back into my right, and I'm just going to walk him into this movement, okay? That's just the lower body work. Now, in order for me to really compromise his base, I want to think about taking his head and putting his forehead down to the floor, close to his knee, as I drop to both knees. Because some people won't drop all the way down. Because my arms aren't that long, I always drop to both knees. So I go from here to here. Okay, so I drop all the way down. You gotta think about stuffing that forehead right to his kneecap. Now I can leave my inside tie, and I go right to his heel. Okay, so it's not the ankle, it's not the mid calf, it's not the knee, it's all the way down to the bottom. And I still get him really bent over here. When I go to finish this, I'm active on my toes. I'm going to explode off my toes. I'm going to pull on his heel, and I'm going to chop his head down and toward the pick side. I'm going to get a good strong takedown here, okay? If you don't do a good job of snapping the person's head down, it's probably the most common mistake people make when they do this takedown is they leave the head behind, they do this, and then they try to kind of stretch and get a real weak pick here. He's got a good base. I'm stretched out. I feel weak. This is no good. You have to bring the head along with you, okay? Any questions on this? Second most common mistake, people mess up the footwork. So you have to think of this as a little bit as like a dance. When I guide him into this, I want him to step with this leg. Most common mistake people make is they try to guide the person on the wrong side. So I want this one, but they do this instead. They almost like circle away from the leg that they want. Okay? Pull on this arm, step back with your right foot, and glide this one on the ground behind it. And really pull the person's right side, my left side, into the takedown as you go. That combined with snapping the head down all together, he's really bent, really compromised. I just slide down, pick the ankle, punch, and come up. Okay? Now as you can see when we land, we're going to be working off of one heel grip. We're going to turn this immediately into a leg drag, but not just yet. All right, so I just came on top, I've got his heel, I just snapped his head down to the side. Interesting note, some people in the previous classes are following the person, they still have the collar tie all the way into guard here, and this is a real good way for Steve-O to throw his leg over and get me in a triangle or an arm lock, okay? So you don't want to follow the person into guard. When you chop and snap their head down into the pick side, come up and let it go, and just stand over them like this instead, okay? Because now you're sort of out of the danger zone, okay? Now, if you do it that way, you're going to be sort of disconnected from the person, which is what I want for today. I don't want this foot touching my hip, and I don't want him sinking like a De La Riva hook or a butterfly hook here. I want to be somewhat disconnected. So as I'm completing my takedown, I'm already thinking about taking a side step around his foot. See, I don't want to drag his foot across my body like a brute. What I want to do instead is just hold it in place. As I reach for my cross grip on his knee, I step to the side. So I'm just stepping out of the way. And it's really hard for him to follow me. If I grab it and drag it, he'll just get heavy with his leg and he just won't let me do it. Like, it's just hard to move it. But it's really hard for him to follow me if I just push it in a little bit and move to the side. It's really tough for him to follow. That's what I want you to do. As soon as you hit your takedown, still on the heel, reach for the kneecap, side step. Then I step this foot, I step this foot to the middle, wrestling shot to the side to fold the hips. And that's what I want to do is I want to have his hips totally folded to the side, okay? Like any good passing fundamental, when we do bullfighters, when we do leg drags, staplers, side smash, it's always knees facing away, shoulders flat, and I'm smashing down on them, okay? Now, let's go through ideal world scenario, which is not gonna happen, okay? I'll have a kickstand here. I will immediately get chest to chest. I'll immediately get an underhook and hold his shoulder on this side. I'll get head position under his jaw, and then I'm gonna scoop up his tricep, okay? Nobody's gonna let you do that, all right? But that's what you want. That's what we're gonna work toward. We're gonna work toward this position, okay? So how do we get there, and what are you gonna encounter along the way? Well, First thing is this top side frame is always a pain in the ass. People come with this, okay? And they'll drop that sharp part of their forearm right across your trachea, so you don't want to push in. And then after he's established this, he'll sort of like move away and build up to his bottom elbow, and he'll start hip escaping away from me, right? He'll start moving away, I'll start losing control. If I lose too much control, he's gonna bring this back across the body, and then he's gonna be doing guard again. So this is what's gonna happen to you when you're sparring. This is the resistance you're gonna encounter, okay? So let's talk about how we can beat some of these systems that he's gonna set up, okay? So first, the frame up top. Okay, how do we deal with this? I'm gonna have him make this as unpleasant for me as possible, because right now this would be kind of easy to beat. So I'm actually gonna have you grab, flare your elbow up. Yep, there it is, that sucks. That's what I want. Don't go up to your elbow just yet. So this is gonna be the first thing. This is gonna allow him to keep me off, so he has time to build to his bottom elbow, but I'll have a moment here. So I'm actually gonna lay into this frame and put some weight on it. See, you can be strong here. And I'm gonna look toward his hand, because that's gonna keep the sharp part of his forearm off my trachea. He's such a nice guy. He's being so nice to me right now. That's where I want it, okay? This is not what I want to experience, so I'm gonna do this. That makes it better, okay? Now I lean into it, I use my shoulder and shift my chest, and I pop that arm off, okay? You have to be really aggressive with your outside shoulder. You have to turn your chest perpendicular to him from here to here, okay? Now I might not throw all the way by, but it's definitely gonna defeat that frame. Now I can get a nice deep grip on his shoulder here. From this position, he still might be able to build up to his bottom elbow. If I see him doing that, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna reach for it, grab it, and I'm gonna collapse it. Now it's very difficult for him to move. Let's really top it off with head position. I'm gonna take my forehead, find his chest, and I'm gonna grind his face down so the crown of his head is on the mat. So I've got all those controls I talked about in that dream scenario. Now I've got them, okay? My partner's gonna try to move out. Go ahead, Steve was gonna move a little bit. I'm just gonna keep him locked down here, okay? Once I've established that I can do that well and reliably, we're gonna move on to the next part of the technique, okay? Questions on this, anything at all? Okay, once again, we hit the ankle pick takedown. This is the leg drag pass, okay? No gi, it is a lot more difficult to do than with the gi, because the gi got all those handles. We got nothing here but sweat and skin, okay? So we gotta be super, super tight. Any questions on this? Okay, just hit my takedown, side step, kneecap, and then I step this foot to the middle, knee drives to the mat. As I do my little wrestling shot, it folds the hips. You see, he already came up with the frame. This is what good grapplers are gonna do. It's gonna be here right away. So don't try to pull away from it. Don't grab it with your hands. Lean into it, shift your chest, beat the frame. Grab the neck, trap, shoulder, whatever's comfortable down here. Then if he tries to build to this bottom elbow, I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna scoop it up and pull it off the mat. And the more I do that, the flatter I can get him. Now, if I still want him even flatter, I use my forehead under the chin, drive, so the crown of his head is buried in the mat, and then Steve-O's gonna try to move around, and I lock him down, okay? All right, so here's where we left off. Got my shoulder grip, got my scoop grip, got my head position, okay? We're just gonna finish with a really simple cradle pass, okay? This is very easy to do from the position we left off. All you're gonna do is try to get this arm forward and as deep around the neck as possible. I just need to be able to see my fingers on this side. I'm gonna scoop his leg now. Don't try to scoop it at the person's knee, because that knee is gonna be tight to your leg and it's gonna be heavy there. Try to come all the way near their ankle. You can even like walk this up using your fingers if you want. And then we're gonna connect our hands in an S grip or a pretzel grip here. Keep your elbows closed. From here, your partner should not be able to move at all, okay? We're just gonna sprawl. We're gonna take a nice, slow little walk, and we're gonna get into side control, okay? Now, if you're interested in competitions, you wanna talk about points here, most of the time, most referees will give you 3 points when you get past the legs and you get perpendicular like I'm right now, okay? But technically, if he figure fours his legs right now, gonna make a triangle, he's tying this arm up inside this triangle, so technically, some refs will make you free this arm before you get your passing points. I love this leg lock attack, and I do it off of this leg drag entry a lot. So same everything. Same takedown, same side step, same step to the middle, and I get here. And here's where everything changes. You need to be extra tight kneecapping, pulling this in really deep, shutting your elbow and hinging your hip over their knee here. I need to own this leg, okay? So what I'll do is I'll just enter the heel hook position right from here. You have the option to put this hand down to support you if you want, but you really should try to just support your weight on your inside leg. Let this heel loop over the body and connect to your shin from here to here, and then you can fall nice and easy to your side, okay? So I already have a good leg entanglement here. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to get this foot all the way to the inside of the legs, but there's not room as I fall. So what I need to do is as my shoulder hits the mat, I'm gonna take this foot, I'm gonna kick my leg straight, open up that space, and then I'm gonna cross my feet. I'm gonna pin my heels to my butt, I'm gonna squeeze my knees, and I'm gonna make sure that his knee is hinged and his shin is folded over my hip. I can use my hand to help if you want to, but like it's really, you should just be able to hold the knee and close your elbow here. Now, if Steve-O tries to get up and hip escape away, I just slide with him, keep going. Everywhere he goes, I go too, without any effort. That's how you know you have it locked tight, okay? So I'm in a really good position to attack the heel hook on this leg. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach back with my elbow. I'm gonna strike right at his toe knuckle, right here, the big toe. I'm gonna elbow that, and I'm gonna peel his heel open. Watch his heel. As I peel this back, it exposes right to the heel hook, okay? Now I loop the blade of my thumb around. My thumb points right at my face. This grip does not move. This one's gonna come slide, hands together, knees pinned super tight together like I'm trying to juice an orange between my knees. Same thing with my elbows. Elbows squeeze tight to my rib cage. So I got a really strong grip set. When most people try to finish heel hooks, they haven't done a lot of heel hooks yet, what they'll do is they'll rotate toward the side they want to finish. So they'll rotate this way, and you'll get a tap if you do that eventually. Okay, right, okay, we got it. But you're gonna get a much faster tap if you think about pulling the heel right toward your face and then bridging your hips up to the ceiling, okay? When I do those two things together, watch how fast this is. Just a little bit of range of motion, I'm already getting a very fast tap. Okay, so without holding his heel, my hips are trying to do this. I'm trying to bridge my hips up to the ceiling, like I'm trying to escape the mount. Then of course, the lower part of his leg will be locked into place, and I'm just pulling that heel right toward my head. Okay? Now, if that seems too advanced, just work the cradle pass, okay? But if you want to work for a really dynamic, really strong finish, this heel hook's pretty awesome, okay? Any questions on this? Anything at all? Anybody need to see it again? Let's see. All right, I'm in my leg drag position. I could just keep driving and just go into my drag, or I could hug everything super tight, hinge over, bring my heel to my shin, fall gently, kick to open up the space. See, I'm kicking this leg straight so this foot can drop through the pocket. It's really important. Then I just cross my feet. I like to cross this leg so my foot goes under the original. I don't want this one on top because you can get foot locked here if you're not careful. I want this one on the bottom. Now I pin my heels and squeeze my knees. We execute our elbow strike to peel the heel open. I set my grips, squeeze my knees, close my elbows, and execute that same finishing where I pull the heel toward my face, I arch my hip to the ceiling. Oh,
No.
okay, all right.